everybody. Welcome back to Capital Ideas, a podcast celebrating the innovations and bridges being made by people to the capital markets. I'm Nick Morgan. I'm the president of ICAN, Investor Choice Advocates Network, and the co-host of today's episode.
And I'm Dara Albright. I'm the co-host of Capital Ideas and a proud board member of ICAN. And today, please join us in welcoming Joseph Abboud to today's episode. Joe is the co-founder of Dreamload Ventures, which is a think tank, incubator, accelerator that is serving underrepresented entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for being on the show, Joe.
Thank you so much for having me, Dara. Nick, it's a privilege and an honor. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
So love what you guys are doing. And I was hoping that maybe you could start first by discussing some of the demographics that you do serve and why it's been so challenging for some of those groups in particular to access capital.
Yeah, great question. Thank you so much. So to answer your question directly, we are looking to serve three specific communities here domestically. Internationally, we're looking to support social impact causes and female-led initiatives, businesses. Here domestically, we are looking to serve the veteran community, the female community, and the BIPOC community. Not that we're exclusive, but we feel like these communities have historically been underserved, right? We can actually verify that and back that with numbers and facts, right? I have right here in front of me, it's the veteran community. A significant portion of the entrepreneurial community regarding veterans face unique challenges in accessing capital. Only about 4.5% of veterans who own businesses actually have the access and the means to actually get their business going. Female founders, on the other hand, receive a disproportionate amount of venture capital. In 2022, female-founded companies received only 2.1% of all venture capital funding, which was down from 2.4% in the previous year. Similarly, with the Black and Latino community, founders face significant barriers. 2023, Black entrepreneurs received just 1% of venture capital funding, while Latinx founders received less than 2%. So there is something there, and we felt like we could serve a place where we can bridge a gap, right? And how we do that's kind of, different, unique, not saying that, we're one of a kind, but certainly approaching this whole facet from a different light, right? Precisely why we put together the 501c3. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I love it. And, we've had a lot of people on this show that have talked about underrepresented demographics and underrepresented entrepreneurs and what they were doing to help. But this is the first time that we have someone that's actually serving the veteran community, which I really love. I don't know that if many people know this, but it was actually the veterans coming back from World War II were the ones that actually started the whole venture capital community in the first place, because they were the ones that, the risk takers and were willing to do this. So it's great.
I actually love that you said that, and that's going back to essential entrepreneurship. So you have these, if they were boys going off to war, they're men now, despite their age, right? Coming back to civilian life, very, very difficult, right? There weren't these mental health awareness stuff going on. So a lot of people just wanted to be their own boss. That's the only way they could be successful. So I love that you brought up that point. It's very, very true.
Yeah, it's great. And you know what? I also love what you are doing, which you're not only helping access capital, but you're really helping entrepreneurs access the market, and you're helping them with their branding and marketing initiatives. So I was wondering, maybe you could talk a little bit about some of the partnerships that you have and how it not only facilitates the capital raising aspect, but the brand exposure for these companies as well.
Yeah, excuse me. That's a very good question. So one of the partnerships that we're still developing and talking to, for example, given the communities that we told you we're coming to serve, let's just focus in on the veterans. That's been a theme for this podcast. The Purple Heart Foundation, which is the largest and oldest veteran-owned nonprofit, a gentleman by the name of Jim Hatch right now is their current president, CEO, kind of running things over there. Amazing gentleman. Naturally, we want to see how we can serve them. They have a built out model that serves not only veterans, but their spouses and their descendants, which is very powerful. Basically seeing how we can add value to a community like this. We're looking at other communities, a female-led community. We've actually been in talks with the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, playing on the minority, the BIPOC community. So these are going to be very, very powerful. And all we want to do is basically say, hey, we have this access to these resources and capital that we would want to make sure that you guys don't miss out on. Plain and simple. So just adding value at the end of the day. If someone has an aspiration to, open up a coffee shop, we want to have something in-house that facilitates that, right? And I'll kind of allude to kind of what the greater ecosystem looks like in a bit, how we would kind of run these people through the system, what it looks like, and what everything entails, right? So, but yeah, I hope that answers your question.
So I imagine, Joseph, that regulatory barriers come up from time to time, and at ICAN, we're focused on the regulatory barriers that keep investors out of the capital markets, keep entrepreneurs from being able to access the capital markets. What kinds of regulatory barriers have you encountered at Dreamload Ventures that you think might deserve some attention or focus?
Yeah, so one of the ways that we're trying to bridge this funding gap on the social enterprise side of Dreamload Ventures, right? Social enterprise versus social impact. We've affiliated and partnered with a number of financial institutions to better bridge that gap. One of these institutions, for example, is an untraditional way of acquiring money, which is through the regulated crowdfunding method. Essentially, we have the capacity and ability to take this economic engine of Reg CF, Reg A, Reg D potentially, and using this to kind of uplift and promote people in our community, right? So there's a clear gap based upon the numbers and the facts as we discussed earlier. So then it's a matter of how do we bridge that gap with these economic engines. We actually had another opportunity that we're still working out. I guess it's a precursor to a Shark Tank, right? It's almost like if Shark Tank married America's American Idol, you'll get America's Real Deal. So we essentially have a backdoor to an opportunity of putting businesses on in front of America, and having the whole 50 US, basically invest in these companies. No longer are they just going to be sharks. You actually have the whole US kind of involved in this process, which is really, really nice. So these are some of the measures that we've been taking in order to see if we can essentially make an impact, right? Another method that we've done is setting up this 501c3 model. So essentially what we want to do is we want to, again, building on the theme of relationships, develop relationships with various social impact investors, people who want to donate for their businesses maybe, but say that we have this ecosystem and we can essentially use the money that they donate to then run through our system to better help these startups and entrepreneurs or businesses who need support, right? Support can range from anything from brand identity to web development, or something more time consuming, like a 13-week accelerator, right? However you fit into our ecosystem is where we want to add support. Eventually get you regulation crowdfunding ready, or even get you America's Real Deal ready. So at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you have investors and you have eyes on you. So these are some of the measures that we've been taking in-house.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. And obviously there are a lot of incubators out there, a lot of accelerators. The 501c3 model is a kind of a novel approach to this. And thank goodness we have some of the Reg CF, Reg A, Reg D options available. And hopefully we can expand those options and make your life easier at the nonprofit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Joseph, thank you so much for being on. We wish you the best of luck with Dreamload Ventures. For everyone else, and Dara, thank you, obviously, for being being the co-host, as always. And for everyone else, if you want more information about ICAN, you can go to icanlaw.org, and we'll see you at the next Capital Ideas. Thank you.